Before I start this video, do you mind if I'm recording this? If I record
Audio,
the
video,
voice?
no.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Okay.
It doesn't even matter.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's start.
Just so anybody's watching, it's always a good idea to ask the people that you're recording, to let them know you're recording at the very beginning, because in some places it's actually illegal, despite what people think. At least as far as the United States goes.
I don't know about up here, but yeah, you don't want to get in trouble.
I mean, it's the worst that you can do is, like, I don't know, friggin', who the hell's gonna take somebody to court over that? But whatever. Anyway, as I was telling you earlier, I finally fucking banned Neocore staff from my frickin' channel. Oh shit, let me get that phone. I gotta get that.
Yep.
My wife, give me a minute.
All right. So I think I'm gonna head to the mines now. But yeah, while we're waiting for him to get back, just go through here, kill a few mobs, and go back to the main discussion.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Yep. Oh, cool.
What's up? Alright, I'll be up in a few minutes. Give me a few. Bye. Yeah, anyway, to make a long story short, I got company coming over in a minute. The house is going to get really friggin' noisy. But I just want to quickly finish this up. I actually want to finally getting rid of Neocore staff off my YouTube channel from being able to make comments, because enough is enough. I caught him cheating, and I call the forum people there Neocore staff and the forum brigade, because it seems like if anybody else is posting information except for them, it's no good. You're a liar, and they do everything possible to discredit you despite evidence saying otherwise. Dude, did you see the last video I made? I was in the Twitch TV stream, and basically part of this goes into the conversation that you and I have. For the longest time, people on the Steam forum kept saying, "You are me," and then when somebody finally said, "Well, you and I talk together through streams," then all of a sudden it went from that to something else. And then when the focus on what they brought up was also debunked, they went to something else. And no matter what you do, every time you debunk something or prove what they're saying is incorrect, they go to something else, and it's never-ending battle. So they harass the piss out of people. The latest one was Megapul. In my video, I said anybody that mentions my name. Now, keeping in mind, I had the Twitch TV stream open, and I basically said anybody that mentions my name about the guides and anything else, they ban from the Twitch TV stream. So Megapol said, "Oh no, here's the proof we don't ban anybody else," and they brought up the Steam forum, which has nothing to do with where I said people were getting banned from. I'm showing the Twitch TV stream, not the Steam forum. So it's funny how they continually ignore facts, call me a liar, tell me I'm cheating. And the other thing is that the main reason I got rid of him from my channel is because it's one thing to have a debate. He's just blatantly denying and trying to sidetrack every single thing I post that's a fact. And what's really interesting is that him and his brigade of forum bandits ignore the fact a lot of the stuff that I said that they said is a lie, a simple search result. If you do a simple search for it, you will find that what I'm saying is a fact. I'm not even saying I'm getting my information because people are posting it. And the latest one, as I said in the video, I went in there and I said, you guys are, Valve has a problem with people region gifting. It's all over the forum. You can do a search for it on the Steam forum. Plus, if you Google search it or Bing search it or whoever you want, you can find tons and tons and tons of people have had their account shut down for that. And they basically said in the chat, "We don't allow liars in here," basically saying that's not true when a simple search result proves it is true. So they're silencing anybody and anybody. And so to clear up that now, let me ask you something. Did they ban you from the Twitch TV stream from mentioning my guide?
They did once, and I got unbanned.
But did my point
later.
is?
Yeah.
My point
Your
is.
point is that
did they ban you?
me? Yes.
Yes. All right. So that right there says Megapole is lying because he said I'm the only one that's been banned, but you already confirmed that you have been banned. It doesn't matter whether you've been unbanned. The fact is they've banned multiple people for talking about it. And it's like, when he knows that's true, he tried bringing up the Steam forum when he full well knows that the video was about the Twitch TV stream. And then it's like, what really gets me is that I posted, my guide that I posted shows a step-by-step process on how my character became like this. Like how I got my character so powerful, or how I got them all, because it's the system I'm using. Yet, nobody pays any attention to that and claims that that's cheating. And I found out the part of my guide where I'm using multiples of the same item that I borrowed from a bunch of people, people are actually trying to compare the patch how it is now to when I actually made that segment. Because it got to the point where I told Megapole, it's getting to the point where if you guys don't shut up, I'm gonna go pirate a copy of an earlier version of this game, open the file structure, and show all the item stats are the same. Because when I made that segment, when the new game items were introduced, all of the new game items, whether it was the ring, the sword, everything else, they're all the same stat. They all fell the same way. So for somebody to try to use the patch how it is now after it's been changed to say that that is proving that I'm duping items, it's just a point blank fucking idiot. And when I proved that, they went to something else. And what gets me is that Megapole said point blank, I don't know if you were in the stream when he said this, but
No.
He point blank said he streams with legitimate characters. The problem with that was, if you watch one of my videos, he's using two sets that don't even exist in the game.
That is
And
true.
then he actually said in one of the rebuttals to me, he gets his items from drops. Okay, how to prove that is not true is very simple. If he gets his items from drops, he's using the entire I can't even pronounce it. It's Gorgonade set. I'll type it in the chat.
All right.
It's Gorgonade or something like that, Gorgonade. But
Gorgonade,
he's also using the Dawnbreaker set as well. Find me anybody in the game since you've been playing this that has any of those set items.
I haven't
Nobody
seen
but him.
Dawnbreaker.
Nobody but him has them. So for him to be saying he's getting these items as drops, he's full of shit, because those don't drop in the game. And that is simply proven because if they did, why is he the only person with them? So you can't get around, like, these are base facts you can't get around. And the fact is they're trying to say that I was lying about Valve having a problem with region gifting when you can do a Google search for that, or it's all over this. It's even still on the Steam forum. People are getting in trouble for region gifting. It's mainly with Russia, but that's besides the point.
I'm going to add that in. I'm going to take a screenshot of some form of conversation about that. I'll throw it in there.
You don't even need to do that. The fact is, if you search for it, it's on the forum. You can't not find this. It's full-blown conversations. And then it's like, in one of my other videos, Neocore staff is saying, I don't know, I'm a liar, blah, blah, blah. But yet, everything in one of my videos shows what they're doing. And so the interesting part is, everybody's like, oh, you're a liar, you're cheating, blah, 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 trying to use it. And then when that's disproven, not one person wants to pay attention to the fact that Megapole is using sets that nobody has and claiming that they're drops, and then that nobody's paying attention to the fact that that's hacked, and he's using those items in his stream and then saying he's streaming with legitimate characters. How can you stream with legitimate characters if you're the only person that puts those items in the game when those aren't drops? You can't be, because that as soon as you put an item on you that isn't a legitimate drop, that isn't a drop in the game, then guess what? You are not streaming and using a legitimate character. And to say you're getting it from drops is also lying. But on top of that, not one person is paying attention to that. And they're only harping on the fact that oh, you're duping items because all the items have the same stats. Yet the items that I have are all new game items that when they were first introduced all had the same stats. So people saying, oh, well, he said in the video they drop like that. Yeah, because at the time they did. And if you actually go look at all the patch notes, you will see what's been changed. Now, how many times have you yourself, Matt, sorry, if you don't mind me calling you Matt, whatever, my name's Matt too, in case anybody wants to know, but how many times have you had your character very powerful and then all of a sudden, after a patch, it's been nerfed?
About probably 3 or 4 times, maybe.
Right. So the fact that people are saying that, oh, your stats in that video prove you're hacking. What? Because the patch at that particular time?
For example,
really?
at one point in time, I was doing around 7K. Now I'm doing about 5K.
Yeah, exactly. But even after that, when you weren't doing 7, after the patch came up, how much damage were you doing? Like 1K?
Probably like 4K.
Or something like that. It wasn't even that. And the other thing is that's really interesting is that if you take a look at some of these people's DPS that they say I'm cheating and they're not, there is no way, no matter what anybody says, you can the only build you can have a very extremely high health value on and have a high DPS is a melee character, and that's with flow and combo. But even with flow and combo, let me go get my flow and combo character, and I'll show you what the problem is with this.
All right.
And you can open up my character for a minute. I might need to give me a second.
Yep.
Yeah, I gotta change this for a minute. I get to change this. Give me a second. Okay. Let me see here. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I have to transfer some items from one character to another. Fuck. Because everyone's like asking me, it's like, well, you have the same items on all the characters. No, what I do is I take my character, I transfer items and that into the stash, and then I just equip them on another character.
Pretty much what he does is he comes over there to where the storage is, transfers it.
I do it out of the game.
Yeah.
So the point here is that people are just stupid. All right, give me a second. I'll show you exactly what the problem is, and for anybody that's watching this video, the main reason I'm doing this is to explain to people how you can tell, how to pinpoint somebody that's cheating. By the way, I have to go downstairs and help people get food. Stay up here. Stop doing that. I need to let them away for a minute. Of course, you went back downstairs again.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm getting that fire glitch right now, where the fire cloak continuously goes.
Okay. Shit.
Yeah, but Megapole has been a real scum.
I don't care at this point. Yeah, there we go. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta go down and help my wife. I'm gonna enter the game. And I want you to inspect my character, and then I'll explain how you can find out if somebody's cheating.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pause the video right here, and we'll resume when he returns. Alright, so we're back.
Alright.
I'm just bringing up Matt's character here.
If you inspect me, I'll break it down for you.
Alright, so...
And what the interesting part about this whole thing is if you compare what I'm going to tell you to anybody else that has otherwise, you can't ignore what I'm about to say is a base fact. Okay, what I'm about to say is a fact. You can't, and I will prove it. Alright, so if you take a look, for example, starting with all the enchantments that I have on my character. Like, all the enchantments that are on my character, they're all plus 10 body. And some of my equipment that doesn't have the enchantments on it, it's because the stat is already on the item itself. For example, my Orichalcum armor has plus 15 body on it already, so that's why I have plus 60 hit points. Well, in this case, it's going to give me plus 60 because it's 2 hit points per level. If I was level 10, it would only be 20 hit points extra. Things like that. But if you take a look at the essence, the essences I have in these items, you'll see that they're plus 16 body. Now the maximum you can normally get is, without having the alchemy perk, is only 15 when you start combining essences together. But the alchemy perk actually allows you to overload. If you take a look at the corporeal essence, you can just highlight it, pressing it, you can hit it, you can hit control. If you take a look at it, the corporeal essence, when you have the alchemist perk, it allows you to overload the essence. In order to get an essence more powerful than what it normally can do, you have to overload the essence at this guy up here. What the frick his name is? The laboratory guy. But when you overload an essence at a laboratory while you have the alchemy perk, it makes it twice as potent. So by normal standards, if you overload this essence, it'll only give you an armor of plus 15, an accessory of plus 15 body. But because of the alchemist perk, it gives me plus 16. Now, loading those on, and even on my Kane's boots, I need to get a plus 10 body on that, which I haven't done yet. But for the most part, if you take a look, everything on all my items, with the exception of my gun, which is going to heal me, which I can change my gun to body if I can get body on the gun, I would. But pretty much all of these items, after taking, I took some of my other items off, like I have Stormweaver gloves and stuff like that I've actually tried putting on this with the same type of enchantment as I have on my guy here, with the 10 body. I think you have Stormweaver. Do Stormweaver gloves have body on them? Yeah, they do. Okay, so I had to put like plus 4% critical hit chance or something on them. But anyway, the point is that even though the Stormweaver gloves do like increased attack speed and stuff like that, the Snow Leopard gloves the Snow Leopard gauntlets that I have on these do more DPS than those for this build. So by putting plus 10 body and plus 16, but basically putting plus 26 body on my gloves is going to give me a higher damage ratio than I would be if I had the Stormweaver gloves on. So I've tested all the gloves. I've tested with plus 4% critical hit chance plus body on them, and these gloves give you the highest DPS when it comes to flowing combo. And what's really interesting is that if you take a look at all my gear is based that same way. It's for thorough testing, and I put the best stuff on here. I put the best enchantments on them and everything else. My guide even explains how to test the enchantments to figure out what's best for your build.
And yes, I will link your guide down in the description, so anyone interested in his guide can feel free to go check that out.
Okay, so the point here is that if you notice on the Wraithbone ring, I have plus 10 poison damage bonus. That's because I can't get body on it. So the next highest DPS ratio gave me was 10. It's even if whether it was lightning damage bonus or ice damage bonus, the DPS would be the exact same thing. It just gives you the same DPS no matter what elemental damage you put on it, as long as it's the same as the equivalency you do it. So 10 lightning, 10 poison, or 10 ice does the exact same DPS. So it's just a matter of what one hit first. And I did a test for that as well. I noted the DPS with 10 poison, and then I noted it with 10 plus 10 ice and plus 10 lightning, and it's the exact same DPS for all three. So basically, the point comes down to it is, I'm gonna actually go, and I'm going to remove the enchantment and essence from my belt. Okay, I'm going to remove the enchantment and essence from my belt. And I'm going to put in...
I'm waiting for your orders, sir.
I have a bunch of essences that I used, overloading them with the alchemist perk. So they're going to give me a higher resistance value. And I want you to note what my DPS is right now.
Right.
It's 7844.88. Okay, that's without last stand. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is, let's see elemental damage here. Physical resistance, let me find one here that has elemental damage resistance, elemental resistance or whatever it is. Or physical resistance. Let me see, item defense, body armor reduced. Okay, I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna see this here. Give me a minute, put this here. Okay. If you take a look, that's what I'm going to wind up putting on my belt.
Okay.
It's plus 89 physical resistance. Now, I'm also going to take my belt and put I gotta get this off. I'm gonna take and put my belt as a resistance on my belt too, or something like that. And the whole point to this is I have very high. I have the highest type gear you can actually put on this type of character, like for as far as flow and combo goes. All right, so let me just put a resistance on here or something. Poison resistance, physical. Okay, I get 38. I get plus 38 physical resistance on my belt. Now I'm gonna go remove the essence from it and put that other one in there.
Not possible.
Right now, you're.
Hold on, not yet. I'm gonna remove it because I just removed that. I gotta readjust this. That 20. Yep. Okay. And I gotta put this in here. Okay. Now, the point that I'm making here is if you take a look at like the Neocore staff and everything else, when you look at the amount of hit points that they have and the amount of DPS that they have, and you look at the essences and enchantments and the item types that they have on their character, even with bonuses, you will see that right now my DPS went down to 73.99, which is a significant drop compared to what I originally had on there. The point that I'm making is if you take a look at all of the things that people, actually that was 29% magic bind, that doesn't even work in there. But the point is that if you look at the resistances and everything else that all of these people that have a high DPS in there, it's not possible for them to even have that DPS. Because when you remove essences and enchantments that are buffing your character, you have to substitute the damage for the resistances. And when you start messing with all resistances and everything else, and you put the resistances from the essences in your equipment, your DPS drops significantly. Like if I had my character set up in the same way everybody else did and everything else, my DPS would not even hit 7k. It wouldn't even be close to it. It would be like 4k. I would lose over 3k DPS. So the point here is, sure, I can have a high enough body, but my DPS goes down simply because of that reason. And on top of that, if you take a look at these people that have all the essences that have resistance and things like that, even with multiple resistances and things in them, they hit over 10k in DPS, which is impossible. I just proved it. And they're like, well, you just don't know how to manipulate stuff. No, it's a base fact. If you remove damage from your items to put and replace them with, if you remove essences from your item, essences and enchantments from your item that are boosting your damage and replace them with resistances do not boost your damage. You cannot have the same DPS by removing them. It's not possible. And yet they're like, if you take a look at Megapul's character and you take a look at what he has on his character, you see his health. He has over 4k health plus 10k DPS on his flow and combo character. That's supposedly legitimate. That's supposedly legitimate, and that's under this patch, that the current patch that we're using. You will see in my video, if you take a look at my video, he has a 10k DPS. Look at his gear. Aside from the fact, even if he's using items that don't exist in the game, his DPS still cannot hit over 10k and maintain that type of health level. It's not possible. I just proved that. Because if you look at, like I said, if you go to my video and you take a look at it, I actually was in his game and I highlighted every single one of his items on his character. Take a look at the essences and enchantments on them. Almost none of them are boosting his damage. Where is he getting the DPS from? Where's it coming from?
That's just it. You don't know.
And that's the point, because at least if you take a look at my character and you see what I have on my character, you can see where I'm getting my DPS from. All my DPS for this particular build is coming from the fact that I have body in everything, and body on all my enchantments. And on my weapons, I have plus 20% weapon damage on my Silver Cleaver, and I have the plus 6% critical hit chance as my essence and my weapons. The rest of it is all boosted by essences and enchantments. which I would not be able to have that type of DPS if I swapped out everything for resistances or, you know, dodge or defense. It does defense. If defense or any of these other things jacked up your damage ratio, okay, that's fine. They would have a legitimate issue. But the fact is, you cannot have the DPS that they have looking at their equipment. I have all high grade equipment.
Yeah.
I have all the highest grade equipment that you can get for this stuff, and even I can't reach that DPS.
Yeah, you can see that.
Do you know what I'm getting at? It's
yes, yeah, I do.
It's literally impossible to hit that type of DPS with what they have. You just can't do it.
For the amount of time
and what really gets me is like, oh, you don't know how to do your character. It's like, what?
With the significant amount of patches that they put out there that completely like just crippled my character and crippled your character that did 20k.
Well, no, the thing with that is the thing with that is that what was allowing me to do 22k is I have all my characters jacked up the same way. Like I have my characters statted the best way I know how. It just amazes me. It amazes me on like how dumb you have to be to argue with facts. And they're like, oh, that's not a fact, you're a liar. But the interesting part is, if you ask any of them, like any staff or any of them, it's like the kid I was in the game with before. He basically had he basically
Are you talking about that hacker kid in that PvP game?
No. This is something else.
Okay.
One of the former brigade people was in a game, and he kept coming in the game because.
Let me guess, that old fart.
I was in the game. I forget who it was. I think it was old farted play, one of them guys.
Yeah.
And so what wound up happening was somebody that I was helping out in the game that I had actually helped out. I didn't even realize it was the same kid. A long time ago, I'd helped this kid out, and I was showing him how to do a few things. Sorry, give me a second. I got to adjust this real quick.
We're actually running low on time right now, so you might want to wrap this up.
Okay, so basically, here's the deal. I don't want to say corner them in, but Neocore staff and all these other people have this thing with saying, oh, you cheated, blah, 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 or your guide is full of crap and all this other stuff. But the interesting thing is, if you ask them what exactly in the guide is BS, oh, I don't want to get into it, it's a long story, and all these other excuses to sidetrack it, and the fact that there are tons of people following my guide that are getting these types of power characters. So I got into it with one kid. I said, so what you're saying is that anybody that follows my guide is cheating. Oh, I didn't say that. I'm like, you can't tell me that a guide that shows you how to do this that I made is edited. Like, is used through character editing, but if people are following it and they're getting the same type of result, you can't say that they're not cheating either, because they're the ones following my guide. And if you're telling me that my guide is full of crap after people are producing a result to say it otherwise, that means you're just talking to talk because you're an idiot. So to make a long story short, why I said in my video, when you ask Neocore staff and other people that say I'm lying, they can never tell you exactly anything about what. They can't pinpoint anything, and they make all these excuses. So in the game where this kid was saying this, a friend of mine was watching this whole conversation, and he asked the kid, he says, you said his guide is BS. What in his guide is BS? Oh, I don't want to get into it. It's a long story. So I blurted in, I says, dude, what do you mean it's a long story? If you go to my guide, he's segregated into table of contents. Don't tell me you can't go in there and say, section 1 is crap, you can't do that. Instead of saying it's a long story, there's no long story. You just go in there and say, this part is crap. The reason and what's really funny is that these people telling me I'm lying are actually using my guide and then saying they figured this stuff out.
Really?
Oh, dude, it's hilarious. Now, here's the thing. The way to prove that, because everyone's like, oh, you can't prove that. Yeah, I absolutely can. If people knew this information before I posted it, why wasn't it posted? Because they full well know everybody on the forum is asking the questions that they're claiming they already knew, but yet there isn't one guide out there. that explains half of the stuff that mine does.
Your guide does
But
go
yet they knew it
extremely
beforehand,
in-depth.
and they're saying that they're helping people? Really? They're getting information from my guide and then trying to claim that they figured it out. And I says, if you figured it out, you would have posted this information before I did. Oh, well, you can't prove that. I'm like, okay, then you just know that these people talking are just idiots. Because
Yeah.
I'm waiting for your orders,
it
sir.
doesn't matter whether they knew it. It matters who posted the stuff first. The dates on when stuff posted
Everything is
proves
right.
everything. And that's, like I said, before I posted my guide, none of the information that everybody's claiming that they knew was posted anywhere. And for people to actually take this game as serious as they're claiming to, they would have posted the information long before I posted it. The fact is, my guide posts information that has never been posted anywhere, and everyone's saying, oh, your guide's full of crap. If my guide is full of crap, explain to me. If my guide is full of crap, then why are people producing the same types of characters that I have that they're telling me is edited?
Yeah. I'm after walking into a game or two, seeing guys with your character having claims that they made.
It's just really funny. And here's the other interesting part about this. I have a challenge that I have issued.
Crashed. 1 second.
Okay.
Alright, sorry, we had another technical difficulty, the game crashed, etc.
Hey.
Anyways, would you like to finish up what you were saying there?
Yeah, basically, what gets me is that, when, like, depending on who says it, like, I was giving the kid a hard time simply because it's not that I said the kid was lying. I did say that, but I said it directly toward the kid because the kid was making claims and then beating around the bush, not explaining how he was doing something. And I basically laid it out on the table how it wasn't possible for him to say what he was saying. And I says, okay, I wasn't trying to act like a big shot, but the fact of the matter is I laid everything out. He's like, well, and I wanted to see if he could actually say it, because what he talked about and what he was the system he used to pull off what he did came from my guide, and he didn't want to admit he took it from my guide. He goes, well, I taught you how to do this. I'm like, no, you didn't, dude. That's in my guide. You came in here, and then you said you did something, but yet my guide was posted way before you even started talking to me in my games about this. I said, why don't you just admit you learned that information from my guide? Because my guide, when I go over the essence system, I show you how to change the cost of essences. And when you change the cost of an essence, you can actually wind up creating essence costs that normally wouldn't be able to be created with certain essences. So he's like he's trying to act all big and bad like he figured it out. I'm like, dude, you didn't figure this out, because if you did, a guide, if you or anybody had actually figured this out, and acted like you knew this, you guys would have posted a guide like this to take credit for it long before mine is. The fact of the matter is my guide was posted, and now all of a sudden you guys are all coming up with this information. He was also loitering in my game. That wasn't my game, but he was also loitering in the game for somebody I was helping, and I was explaining all of these tips and tricks for him to maximize his stuff, like to maximize his character, like how to get extra experience points and things like that. For example, when you're in Croakwood at the beginning, one of the tricks to getting to get additional experience points more than the level has is there's two instances where the werewolves and the soldiers are fighting. If you kill the soldiers before the werewolf kills the soldiers, you get all the experience points for killing the soldiers, and then you can kill the werewolves and get the experience points off of them as well. So what happens is if the werewolf kills the soldiers, you're missing all the soldiers' experience points. So little things like that jack up your experience points. So and the reason I was doing that in the game is because I knew that kid didn't know this information, even though he claimed he did. And I just spilled out an entire level of crap. Not a level of crap, but I spilled out so much stuff that the kid that, what's his face? I think it's like Old Farted Play. Whoever it was in the game is from the Forum Brigade, who's calling me a liar, calling me I'm cheating. But yet here I am explaining to the kid in the game in front of him, knowing he was going to say something, that how to maximize your character. So him trying to tell me I'm cheating it's not even valid. You know what I mean? Because I'm teaching them, I'm telling people how to do all these little secrets nobody posts. Like the information I had mentioned in that game isn't mentioned anywhere. And it's just little things here and there. I'm not saying that he didn't do a few things, but the amount of stuff that I was saying from the limited amount of time he's been playing, there's no way that he would have been able to do everything that I had been saying. You got to remember, this is information that
You've been playing this
you
game
can't just
for over
play
since.
3 times through and pick it up. There's just no way.
Yeah.
I've been playing this game since it was released. And what really gets me is that your video with the gold, like people like, so basically to make a long story short, what gets me is this: people on the forum call me a liar because they think you're me. So we disprove that because we're talking right now, and somebody else had mentioned that too. They said, you do realize that trying to say that's him, I forget if somebody said this, they said you do realize that trying to say that's him makes you look like a fool because they stream together and talk through Skype while they're streaming. So you trying to say that that is him makes you an idiot. And people for the longest time, stop it. That's enough. Sorry.
Yeah. That's cool.
The whole issue here is that they had for the longest time, him and a bunch of people, whenever you posted something, they said you were me. And every time somebody said, even you said it, you're not me, they still said you're me. You're me, you're me, you're me, you're me.
Yeah.
Once that came out, it was disproven. They attacked me with something else, saying that the amount of gold I had in the video, in my guide, I cheated to get it.
Don't you never. I just put up a guide recently.
Not taking into account that I had been playing since the game was released.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to have that much gold. I don't spawn in the lair. I don't spawn anywhere but in the lair, and I don't spend anything. So you can't have that much gold. Yeah, of course I can. It's very simple. Plus, I always make it a point to say gold is the easiest thing in this game to get. And so you're going to tell me so they went from you saying you're me after it was disproven to saying I cheated to get the gold. Once that was disproved, once I disproved the gold issue, then they attacked me with the stats on the sword. I duped the stats on the sword because I had all the same stats, and it wasn't possible for me to find 7 people in the game that had that same sword. But yet I've helped over 1,000 people, but it's not possible for me to find 7 people in the game with that. It's not even possible. So then once they said, well, they took, when I say they, I'm talking a few people on the forum and Neocore staff. So they said, so after they said you were me and that was disproven, they went to the gold, and after the gold was disproven, then they went to the stats on the sword in my guide saying I duped the sword. So if you take, and like I said, it's getting to the point where I'm going to go get a pirated copy of the game that is under one of the other patches and open up the damn file structure and show when they introduce the new game items or whatever they are, the items for in the new game, all of them, not certain ones, all of them had certain stats that were fixed when they fell. And the reason I want to get an older copy of the game for that is so developers can't say, well, we never put that in there, because I'm going to open up the file structure and show the stats are in the items the way they were, period. So now that they realized I said I was going to do that, they then tried saying my chicken video that Neocore staff tried to tell me I was lying on. There was no possible way my stats, I was cheating because my stats in that weren't possible. But if you actually take a look at the time I made that video under a different patch, the stats absolutely were possible, because if you take a look at some of the Steam guides, people have higher stats than the ones that are on mine, but yet they didn't cheat, but I did. How does that work? And the fact is that the reason I made that chicken video is because everybody's trying to say they killed that white chicken with melee or range, and I proved, and even Neocore staff.
They said you cannot kill the chicken. From the
Steam forum said you have to kill that chicken with by attacking it. So when I posted the video, they went ballistic. and they kicked me off of the forum because I proved that I got called a liar. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, this ends the debate. You can't even freaking say anything about this.
You can't even attack the chicken. You just chase it around. It drops an egg.
But in the video, I explain why. It's like you can't call somebody a liar, and then when they call you out, get mad and ban you from the forum, which is exactly what wound up happening.
They're childish.
So after that, then they attacked me on this. I have Neocore staff on video using items that don't exist in the game, and he said that he uses all items that drop in the game, so that's a lie. It's a lie because nobody else has those items out of the entire history of this game. How come he is the only person that has those items? The way the game works is you would have multiple people with those items. Other people would have them, but the fact remains he is the only one that has these items, which proves he hacked them into the game because they're set items. They removed them from the game, period. Then, on top of that, he's trying to say that he has a legitimate DPS, which I've already proven in this last game, cannot. Because again, if you look at my video and you look at his character, even if he's using items that don't exist in the game, that doesn't matter. There is no way there's nothing giving him a 10k DPS along with a 4k health boost.
You know, I almost want to see...
I already proved that. It's a proven fact. Then when that didn't work, then they attacked me saying that in the last Twitch TV chat that I was lying about Valve having a problem with people region gifting. In that also, they said I'm the only one that's been banned, and said here's the proof. If you take I should really seriously link you to this. It's just amazing.
I'd actually like to see one of these Neocore guys get into a Skype call with you and see how well they fare against you.
He won't.
He won't because he's a coward. He's a coward.
This is the thing, okay?
He knows
Here's
he'll get told off.
If you watch my video, how many times do I say it? I don't care. They're staff. They can get whatever items they want in the game. That's their prerogative. That is not the issue. The issue is and it's not just me they did this to.
They're saying their characters are legitimate and not using anything that they...
But that's not even it. They're removing people for claiming that they're editing their characters when they're going around doing it, and then denying it, and then trying to deny base facts. Okay, people, if there's a very simple procedure. Like I said, if you do it on the stream right now, when you open up the Steam forum right now, and you do a search for accounts that have been shut down for region gifting or something like that, region gifting issues or something of that nature, watch how many topics you pull up.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow night when I stream. And
but the point here is that the point that I said that on is that proves Valve has a problem with region gifting. So for anybody to say I'm lying about that is purposely going out of their way to cause a problem, no matter who it is. You can't say something is a lie when a simple search result produces. It doesn't matter what anybody says. What matters is what you can produce, what it shows. And the other thing is that the last thing about this is, if you look at the video that I have, that Neocore staff breaks the rules. By the way, Valkyrie Neocore is not a guy. Just so you know that.
Yeah,
Valkyrie Neocore is a girl. I know who it is. If I don't know who it is, I know who they are. That's why I know that they're a girl. And if you watch the video, he has his name as Valkyrie Neocore. That's not him. Valkyrie Neocore is a girl. But the point here is that Valkyrie Neocore, if you watch my video, she has broken so many forum rules and has favored people that are all trashing other people. And I point out in my video that she said in one of my conversations that I had with her, oh, I did a search on the forum and couldn't find anything. And I said, well, you obviously didn't search too hard, because I started linking her to all these topics. All of them are in my video. It's in my video, dude. It's freaking hilarious how freaking stupid these people are. And the overall factor is, oh, I cheated, but yet everything that I say I cheated on, I've already proven it's not. I've already proven it. And they call me liar, 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 but I've already proven that too, because test results prove everything. It doesn't matter what the fuck anybody says. Test results are what prove it. And the other thing is that, yeah, I'm a liar, great, blah, 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 blah. But it's to ignore the fact that search results and tests, to ignore that makes you a complete moron. You have to be a complete moron to actually argue with the fact that a simple search result will prove everything. Oh no, that's your opinion. So if somebody tries to tell you a search result is your opinion, that is saying that even though the topic that you come up with when it searches will say something along the lines of Valve blocked my account for region gifting, I guess apparently the way that's worded, that's an opinion that I'm only interpreting that it's region. Valve IP blocked them, even though it says it right on there. I guess that's my opinion, right? I mean, come on. You have to be a complete moron to even argue with the fact that.
I mean, we'll save this for another video, like for the example of Valve and their bullshit that they get on with. Yeah, we actually had to sum this video up.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to. I just think it's funny because tons of like the thousands of people that I help in this game don't even take half of them even serious anymore. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish by doing this, but all it's doing is make it. I have them painted into a corner and they can't get out of it. There's nothing that they can say, especially when they're dealing with a search result, and especially when you can find this information by a simple search. The search pulls up the information I'm saying, so it backs me up. So there's even they can say whatever they want, but they'll never be right. And like I said in one of my videos, if they want to argue this point, that's fine. None of that shit's relevant. Ask them where they got those items from. Ask Megapol how the hell come he's the only one with those items in the game. It doesn't matter what he says. Ask him how he's the only one with those things in the game. There's nothing you can do to argue that. Like literally, you can't say anything to that. Ask him where he got them from.
Yeah. All right.
You know what I mean? If he says they got them from drops, then ask him how come he's the only one with them in the game. Set items don't work like that. I don't care what and again, it's like
today was their stream actually. I wish I had to hop on it and actually ask him that.
It's what?
Today they were streaming, right? I wish I actually had to hop on and ask him that.
I guess, I don't know.
Anyways, I think I'm going to wrap the video up here.
Alright, man. Like I said, we'll have to get on there and I'll discuss another game with you.
Okay.
I want to discuss Watch Dogs in the next video.
This was episode 1, by the way, of Random Ass Discussion.
It's a what?
Episode 1 of a Random
It's a what?
Ass... I don't know. It's a Random Ass Discussion.
Yep. It's just to clear up some stuff and...
Yep.
You know, people on the Steam forum can't argue with this. There's nothing that they can do to argue with it. Well, they can argue it. They're just being stupid though, because you can't argue against this.
But yeah,
simple as that.
When you do get the Watch Dogs and stuff, we'll have to do that. Anyways, I'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a good day or night wherever you are.
Take care, boys.
Matt's intro or outro.